Kris here, another quick tip for you all. In this video, we are going to take a look at desaturating bright colors on Nurgle models. And so as you can see here, we have a brand new Dark Imperium Nurgle model. And of course, a lot of color schemes, the Nurgle green is often too bright for some. And so some of you might want to desaturate that color. Well, there's a couple ways you can go about that. We're going to start off with some Castalian green, as that is pretty much the base tone. And we're going to use corn red. Now, reason we're going to use corn red here is because it is the complementary color to green. You can see here I'm showing an example here with Mephiston red. Mephiston red is too saturated for this level of green. Already, this green already has different values in it. If you look at Castalian green, it kind of has a bit more of a yellowish quality and also a bit more of a brownish quality. So we're going to add a bit more of a reddish quality, which really kind of should have more of a really more of a purplish tone to it. And so here I'm just going to throw a little bit onto the palette, and I'm going to show with some corn red, and basically I'm just going to blend it really quickly here and let you see how the colors combine. Now, when we're talking complementary colors, we're not talking about basically these colors look nice together. That's not what complementary means. It means that the two colors complete each other on the color spectrum. And so as you can see here, when the two colors typically, in color theory, when the colors combine, they are supposed to make in light, they make a gray. And in pigments, often they make a dark brownish color, grayish brown color. And that's kind of what we're going to go for here, because obviously we're dealing with pigments here. And so you can see here, I just simply lay a little bit of green onto the palette, and then use a little bit of that red. And you can see we come to more of this really kind of dark browny really kind of just this desaturated color. You can see hints of green and brown to it, and of course if we really mix it all up, and of course at varying levels, again, if you're consistent with your mixtures, you can get fairly consistent results. But otherwise, you can see how if we use the brighter red and more saturated red, how much different that color looks. So what you want to do is you want to find the opposite color that you're using, and this works for pretty much any colors on the color wheel. I'm going to take the corn red and I am going to break it down into a glaze. As this video would suggest, this is about glazing the layers on. So we already have the Castalian green laying on the surface, and I'm going to take little thin glazes of corn red and lay them down. I'm going to push the color upwards as I want the color to kind of just build up towards the uppermost portions, just for aesthetics and style and giggles. And so you can see here, even after the first little layer, you can see how the color already begins to change. You can see how, again, it's not as a vibrant green as it was. And in fact, because we're adding essentially the red to it, which is completing in that light spectrum and giving us more of a brown color. If this was light, it would actually give us a gray. And oftentimes in the primary colors of pigments, it's red, blue, yellow, versus where in the primary color wheel in light, it is a red, blue, green. Eshin Gray is next, and this again is just to show another alternate way of desaturating the color. And of course, when we're talking desaturating colors, we're talking about knocking that vibrancy of color out of the color. So when we're talking desaturation, we're bringing back towards more of a gray scale. If you've ever seen color scales where you have, for example, the bright color on one spectrum and you have, darker or lighter on the other end. And oftentimes, if you're ever playing with, MSN Paint or, any kind of programs like that, Photoshop, whatever, and you look at the colors, and you can see how it goes from, like, say, a white to a green and into a black, and you can play with the full spectrum in the tint and in the saturation. And of course, when we fully desaturate a color, basically all we're left with is a gray. And basically what we're going to do here is with the Eshin Gray, is because I chose Eshin Gray because of the level of green that I was using. This doesn't work all the time. For brighter colors, if you want to desaturate, you should use a lighter gray. If you want to go with darker colors, then you should be using a darker gray. You don't really want to add a brighter color because gray has black and white, and if you add the mixtures, the white is going to change also another value, which is going to change the brightness, and you don't really want to do that. And so you want to stick with a darker gray, you want to stick with darker colors so that you can mix and desaturate appropriately. But that is it. Well, I hope you found that quick tip useful and informative. You can watch another quick tip today on MiniWarGaming.com's Vault. Just click on the link in the video description below to watch it right now. If you're not already a Vault member, you can sign up for a free 7-day trial. Be sure to sign up for the Silver membership, and that will give you instant access to over 1,000 painting tutorials already in our Vault. And again, thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and happy wargaming.